Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about the 12.0 patch with regards to the endurance, right? So I had a few videos on endurance here and there, and some builds are pretty decent. And there's going to be some changes that happen with the 12.0 patch with regards to some of these builds, right? So I'm going to go over this in this video, okay? So the first thing to talk about is the wooden floor spike, right? So the wooden floor spike received a buff, right, where the reload timer has been decreased from 2.2 seconds down to 1 second, right? So 1 second reload for the wooden floor spikes. Now, on the contrary, even though this is a buff, this uses up the durability fast, right? So the legacy wooden floor spikes are not recommended because they don't have a lot of durability. I would recommend a durability with about 800 and you should be good enough, right? About 800 durability, you should be good enough to not replace wooden floor spikes. Currently I'm using the level 10s and this has 1000, right? And this is more than enough. Okay, so that's just the wooden floor spikes, right? And the buff also lets them activate faster, so it's guaranteed pretty much to slow all the husks with just one wooden floor spike, right? Even for the faster little midgets. Now, a second change with this regards is the Beach North. The Beach North no longer gets attacked. Hooray! So this makes the Wamp build way more stable, right? Because I don't have to worry about Beach North interfering with the builds and, you know, stuff like that, right? So I will probably release a Wamp video sometime, right? I should probably test, or maybe do a little bit more testing on layering, but so far it's been working really well, right? So I might even release it like in like a day or two. Okay, and there's gonna be another change, with a very important change with regards to the hill amplifier and the lava amplifier, right, which is this patch exclusive, right? I'm not sure what's the reasoning behind it, right, but I'll go over that, right? And as more time is spent in the 12.0 patch, and then I'll do more detailed videos with regards to all my amplifiers. Okay, so with that in mind, we can go ahead and get right into it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is the home base. So the home base, what I do is have walls all surrounding this with this little roof direction of only on the east side. Make sure you don't have it on the north side, for example. Okay, and the east side is pretty much very similar to what I had previously. Right, it's pretty much very similar to what I had previously. We've pathed them all the way up here, and I think most people are going to be using this build, right? The block off does look excessive, but this block off is mainly for the it's mainly to prevent phasing, right? And there has been a little bit of complications with the 12.0 patch, so I do have to figure that out too, right? But slowly and surely I'll release a build with the home base amplifier, right? And the home base north is very similar to what I had in my brief video, where I pathed them in the middle, right? Pathed them in the middle, and there's a little recycler that goes on in here. Okay, very similar to what I had in the brief video. Now, for the ridge build is exactly what I have in my video. I don't think I've changed anything in this ridge build since I released the video, other than the wooden floor spikes to have higher durability. Okay, so the ridge build exactly the same. The Devil Amplifier, the Devil North has gone through some good changes, right? And I haven't changed this build in a few days for the Devil North, but I haven't gone wave 26, right? So I have to wait till then. But so far for wave 6 has been working fine, but I do have lobbers trying to attack me, so it could be possible I may need to go like super high or something, right? But I have to think about what's the counter for the lobbers, right? I may have to go like super high to avoid them. But yeah, I think that's the only issue with the Devil North is the lobbers trying to hit me sometimes, right? The Devil West has been exactly the same according to my video basically, and maybe changed the layering a little bit here just to be that, and I think that's the only change possibly. Okay, and there's that little lower path over there, and that's good enough. And so far the lobbers haven't been trying to attack me. The pit amplifier has gone through some changes, right? So I'm going to go over all the changes in the pit amplifier in my pit update video in the description, right? So in the description of my pit update video, you're gonna see a bunch of pictures in there, and those pictures are gonna have tiles removed and tiles added, right? And those are gonna be the updates for the pit. Right now, later on, once I actually completed the rest of my builds, and then I'll do a full update on the pit, right? Like a full, completely brand new video for the pit. But that would be a lot later, right? So far, I think it's sufficient to just have an update video and update things in the description, and you can click on the links in the description to view the pictures to see what changes you can make. Okay. But yeah, that is for the pit, right? Now for the bridge over here. Now the bridge over here has gone through some changes, right? I will update them in the description, but just to go over a brief overview of what they are. I added a layer over here on the last row over here, right? So I added a layer over here by putting the wall and the slant over here to add that additional layer, right? And that helped a lot if the meteor decided to destroy some structures, right? Now I may have to put in some anti-airs over here. I may think about putting anti-airs over here. I don't think I have any crafted. I guess I can craft some. Yeah, I may put some anti-airs over here, and over here, possibly. So I may put some anti-airs in these positions, because it seems like those particular spots get attacked frequently, right? So I'm just going to put them there for now. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that area. Maybe an anti-air here too. I think that should be good enough. Or, yeah, actually no, I don't want it there. But yeah, maybe you can put some anti-airs here and there. If you don't, as long as you don't put too much, it shouldn't lag the game out. Okay. But I think maybe that's the only thing I would add in here, right? Just for the meteors, because there's certain spots like over there and over here that get attacked quite frequently. Okay. So there's also been a slight change with the block off up front here, because this part gets attacked frequently, so I boxed that all around with the slant over here, and I start the block off a little bit earlier than before, right? So there should be a total of 5 layers over there. Excuse me. Alright, and this over here should have a total of 2 layers. 1, 2, because I did notice if I only have 1, a smasher did break this through. So just make sure you have 2, and you should be fine. Okay, so that is the bridge. Right, and let's go over to the hill. So the hill, there's going to be a very important change, and it's only with this patch, and I'm not sure what has changed. I'm still slowly figuring it out. Right, so I moved this block out just a little bit back, and then I added, and then there's 4 layers over here in total at the front. And over the back here, I added several layers, so there's going to be 5 pretty much in total in that area. Yeah, like 7, I guess, for this. Right? And then this is to prevent the connectivity to the amplifier. Okay. But yeah, this is like super heavy block off, and I'm pretty sure I don't need this much, but I'm going to start reducing some tiles here and there to ensure that, to try to save some tiles, right? Because this is an extremely heavy amount of block off for what I needed before, in comparison to before at least. And this is the layering for the cell sides, right? So those over there, those are just sandwiches. Those are just little sandwiches without the half floors. And you can see, right, this is the layering over here. If you want to copy and paste, feel free right ahead. And this over here no longer has this wall thing over here. It no longer has that, so I removed that entirely. Okay, and this is a little bit more open, because for some reason what I noticed is that when they're beating on the walls over here, right? So when they're beating on the walls and when they've broken enough walls, they eventually stopped and just pathed regularly, and I couldn't figure out what's the reasoning behind it. So I left it open, did a run, and it was perfectly fine, right? So I had to think about what's the reasoning behind it. Yeah, I may have to do more testing, but currently what you see right now has been successfully testful to be working, right? And I already did an endurance run, a couple of them actually, and this has been working 100%, right, as you can see. But I may need to remove some layers because this is excessive amount of layering, right? Like probably I can remove a layer here at least, but again, testing will be needed. Okay, a little bit lava shield over here. I think that's about it for that. Now, let's go over to the lava. So the lava also went through an important change, right? You can put some wall launchers over here. That's optional for the assassin husk, right? Sometimes an assassin husk may want to go under here, right? So it could be possible that if you want to, you can put the gas trap here. I think those two, I don't know how a husk went under here. I did remember it did go under here one time, so I just put a gas trap over there just to see. Maybe as a band-aid solution, but it was only like a little husk, so it wasn't doing much damage to begin with. So this is the front area over here. I put a sound wall in this position because I do notice sometimes the midgets want to hit on this wall, perhaps when I'm AFKing over there. So I just put a sound wall over there. It's totally optional. Now, as you can see, I'm not using the edited floor piece anymore, right? And I'm being extra skeptical to what's the reasoning why that the propane was been hidden here. So originally they had a floor over here with a wooden floor spike, and what ended up happening is that the propane wanted to blow it up. I have no idea what's the reason behind it, so I removed it and it behaves perfectly fine. So I'm like, okay, I'm switched this back over here for now, but I may switch back to the edited floor piece to see if it still works, right? But in order to do this, you need to make sure this is blocked off with the half floor with that and the half low wall as shown there. Okay, and pretty much the top part's exactly the same as before then. Alright, this area is also exactly the same as before, and the block off is exactly the same as before. Right? I think maybe one slight change I did because of assassin husks is I put a sound wall and the wall launcher over here, and this is like a double reloader. This is a double reloader 0 impact because I don't need a high impact anyway, and sound wall over there just occasionally for the assassin husk, right? But that's it, right? That's not really much. Because assassin husks, you don't know what's the reason why they hit the walls, they just do. Oh yeah, there's also this thing too. I put this in the description on my hill or lava video, one of those, or maybe both, where this is going to be acting as the killer for assassin husks. Because sometimes when the excuse me, sometimes the assassin husks may come through your hill area, your hill south, and then they'll drop down here, right? So this is just to help kill them off or loop them back, right? That's all. Okay, so let's go over to the valley. So the valley, not really made much changes to it, to be honest, right? So far it's been working pretty good. Maybe wall launchers here and there just for assassin husks again, right? Because they're unpredictable. But overall it's been exactly the same, of course, with the wooden floor spike change. And I did something a little bit different with the amplifier design, and the only reason why I'm doing this design is because I am trying to test something with Wave 26, because I noticed that sometimes in my runs, not always, but sometimes Wave 26 didn't work for the smashers and propanes, and I was like, what's going on? So I'm trying to do this and see if that would fix it, but I'd have to see, because sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't for Wave 26. So again, I have to do more testing to make sure it works. But for the UFO and Mistpod waves, so Wave 10, Wave 5, Wave 16, Wave 15, Wave 25, they have worked, right? I just haven't tested if Wave 26 works for this, right? This is just a little pathing. They actually, all the assassin husks still path to you, right? Including the smasher and propane, right? I just want to see if just adding those would work for Wave 26 again. So that just requires a little bit of testing. Okay, for the beach amplifier, right? Oh wait, yeah, for the beach amplifier, pretty much exactly the same as my brief video. I don't think I've changed almost anything here, right? I may have added this for lava shield because they can fling from it over there. And there's also a little slight change of the layering back here, right? So for the excuse me, for the valley amplifier, you only need 3 layers in this area. Okay, you only need 3, right? But for the beach, you actually need 4. So I do have this extra layer over here just for the beach alone, right? So this saved me a little bit of structures. And the beach is going to be, at least for the south side, it's going to be almost exactly the same as what I had in my brief video. Almost exactly the same. I changed the recycling build a little bit. But yeah, this part's going to be pretty much exactly the same as before, right? The only difference is I'm maybe trying to get away with less traps, right? Trying to get away with less traps. And the methodology here is that instead of launching them towards the north, I want to do this lobber shield over here, so that's a lot more reliable. Because if it's too high, then it might not be a reliable lobber shield. So yeah, I'm going to be launching them on the east over here, right? These two floor launchers, and then this wall launcher is going to chain launch them down into the pit, right? And as I explained previously, this wall over here is for the new smasher charge distance, right? So 3 tiles, and then this would charge them from over here, okay? For the east side, right, this pretty much is going to be exactly the same as one of my older builds, right? For the beach, where I have full walls all around here, and then path them on the edge on the pit here, and then they'll get recycled down. Okay, and these are all tar pits currently, but I don't think I need to have all tar pits personally, right? But that's what I have currently so far. Okay. And there's going to be a little recycling area over here, right? So I found this, I think this is actually from White Streams, right? White Streams did this, and this is just like an improved version, I think Ark did. And then I just took his and then be like, yeah, mine. Right, so essentially all you need is a little bit of block off on this side, right? So there's going to be just 5 layers for the short path, and then 4 layers for that path, right? So you can see over here, that's all you need for that. And it's going to be just wall launchers all across, right? Just wall launchers all across with the low half walls, and you should be good to go. And that's it. Pretty cheap recycler, and this seems to always work, as the spawn for the east is always in this area, so this never gets destroyed. Okay. Wamp is the final one, right? So the Wamp video is actually probably going to release like maybe tomorrow or something. I'll have to see. And I'm thinking I might be able to get rid of some layering, right? Maybe some layering over here, but I would have to do a little bit more testing for that. But in the workings right now, it works perfectly 100%, right? So this Wamp works 100%, and it's really amazing. What's really cool about the Wamp too is that if you stand up here, right? If you decide to stand up here, right? But let's say, you know, for some reason you want to come because it's either wave 26 or it's wave 23, and you'd be like, okay, I just want to make this even easier, right? And what's going to end up happening is that a lot of the assassin husks, they're going to end up coming to this assassin tunnel right over here, right? I did a little bit of block off on this side, and all the assassin husks will be coming over here. And what's going to end up happening is that they're going to get launched into the lava. So those 2 wall launchers are 4 times impact, and then the last one's 3 times impact, right? And most of the time, the 4 times impact is going to be successful, right? Most of the time. Now, when they do get launched into the water, what ends up happening, instead of dying and despawning, they actually slowly start walking their way towards this little corner over here, right? This little corner over here. This is actually, and they walk actually slower than that, but they walk really slow because of the water. When they come over here, and they just kind of stand still, and after like maybe a minute or so, and then they start despawn, and then they despawn and come over here. But it just wastes so much time that it makes your tunnel like very light. There's like almost, I wouldn't say almost nothing, but pretty much your tunnels like should be like 25 to 30% of the regular husks, right? Similar to the assassin thing I'm doing on the excuse me, on the valley. I'm like, it really works well over here too, right? So yeah, that's what you can do to make this even easier. But however, if you're not, this actually should still work as long as you're not standing over here, right? So if you're standing over here, what ends up happening is a lot of the lobbers start trying to target you, and the lobbers, when they target you, is bad. And it's bad for 2 reasons. One, you're putting your own hero in danger, and number 2, there is a bug with lobbers that instantly kills any structure and the structures underneath it, and it's really stupid bug. I don't know why it's there, but yeah, avoid lobbers ever trying to target you and accidentally hitting structures, right? Avoid that at all costs. Okay, and this should be really good because it's a pretty decent recycler. I haven't really changed it much other than a little bit of minute changes here and there, but that's pretty much it. Okay, now let's go over to here, and we should be done, and that's it. I went over a little bit of a brief overview of currently what my home base is at, is like, but I'm gonna release more videos. Maybe tomorrow I'll release it because it's pretty darn good. Either that or the day after. But yeah, guys, have fun building.